Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Triple K International to stage only one of 3 previously planned independence events due to COVID-19. More stringent measures on public events during independence to limit the spread of COVID-19, and the Freedom Party reflects on its 50-year existence on Dominica's political landscape. The details coming up.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
First up in the news, the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Dominica has gone up again. The Ministry of Health says as of Wednesday, the total number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 was 42, with 9 active cases.
The last 7 cases are from 3 different communities in 3 different health districts. Of the 7, the 5 of them are from one community, identified as contacts of a positive case from one particular village. These 5 cases were detected through contact investigation and community drives. As part of the community-based surveillance, we have initiated another community screening drive. In this phase, we have successfully completed 3 communities in 3 health districts. A total of 45 individuals were tested using the PCR method, and 60 individuals were tested using the serological method from these communities. Out of 45 PCR tests, only 1 turned out to be positive. However, this individual was a contact of one of the earlier positive cases. All 60 serology test results are negative for antibodies. A total of 105 individuals were screened through the community drive. In addition to the community screening, another 112 contacts were identified through contact tracing. Of these 112, 69 individuals have been tested, and of these 69, 4 cases are positive and 65 are negative. The remaining 43 are pending. Community-based screening in other health districts is to continue in coming days. At this stage, the transmission still remains as a cluster of cases.
Government has decided to impose more stringent measures to curb the spread of COVID-19 since citizens continue to ignore mask wearing and social distancing guidelines. Acting Deputy Chief of Police Davidson Valerie says this means that independence celebrations this year will not be marked by large gatherings, and permission must be sought from the police to hold any public gatherings.
Today, October 28th, 2020, anyone wishing to host a public entertainment event must have permission from the Chief of Police to do so. A public event, as the name suggests, could refer to any event open to the general public. Approval may be granted to the individual providing that they meet certain requirements. The organizers must provide the start and end time for the event. There must be no more than 250 people in attendance, inclusive of event planning staff. Each patron must be allowed 36 square feet at the venue. Organizers are encouraged to ensure that there is adequate security at the venues, as this would assist in enforcing the health safety measures. The form is available from the Discover Dominica Authority and can be submitted to the Chief of Police via email to dompol@cwdom.dm.
Approval will be conditional, it will not be automatic.
Prior to approval, a monitoring team comprising of officers from the Dominica Police Force and officials from the Ministry of Health will conduct inspection of the venue to verify information submitted in the application. The monitoring team will also visit the venue during the hosting of the event to ensure compliance with the protocols. Any breach to the protocols will result in the event being cancelled. Also, event organizers who breach the protocols on more than one occasion will not have events approved for a period of 90 days from the last date of infraction. Please be advised that the Chief of Police will not be permitting the hosting of any event on the streets that is likely to attract large crowds. At this point, I wish to appeal to everyone to continue to work with the Ministry of Health and the police to avert any further spread of COVID-19.
Good times and tough times is how chairman of the Dominica Freedom Party is describing its more than half a century-long existence in the country. Andrea Louis explains.
The Dominica Freedom Party was established in October 1968 and is recognizing its 52nd anniversary this year. The party won 2 seats when it first contested elections in 1970. It won 3 seats in the elections of 1975 and won by a landslide of 17 seats in the 1980 general elections, where it stayed in power until 1995 under the leadership of the late Dame Mary Eugenia Charles. The current leader of the Dominica Freedom Party is Kent Vital. Before him were Judith Pestena, Michael Astafan, Charles de Savre, and Sir Brian Arlene. Chairman of the Dominica Freedom Party, Johnson Boston, says the party is facing several hurdles at the moment, but will continue to advocate for a level playing field in the political arena.
One of the biggest hurdles for politics in Dominica is the fact that the resources are not always available for you to do what you need to do, and some of the persons who may offer you resources from outside the country would not want to get involved in those kind of resources that consider to be dirty money and so forth. And then we're saying, with the kind of money coming into politics, it has to be regulated so that each parties can have a sum that they can spend and not beyond that, so that they can outdo the other with money. If you outdo the other with ideas, with policy, with program, fine, but not with money and so forth. And these are things we're fighting for. And up to this time, we have not had it.
Boston says the party is committed to rebuilding its membership through the revamping of various branches of the organization. However, the COVID-19 crisis has impacted its progress.
Well, the difficulty you have right now, started earlier in this year, is the COVID. So it created this social distancing and all these things. So it gives a little setback. But we're doing what we can, and we're having a lot of contact with Dominicans at home and abroad through social media. We have set up a very good group of Dominicans in the diaspora called the Love for Country group, and there's a very vibrant group of young and middle-aged professionals who, while they're abroad working, their hearts are in Dominica. And then we have a number of persons here in Dominica who are coming on board with the party. But the rebuilding is something we're taking seriously. We have to bring the branches back. We have to bring the zonal committees back, the party council back. And then next year, God's willing, by around August or so, July, August, we want to have a delegates convention that would then elect new executive members and probably look at the leadership of the party.
The Dominica Freedom Party chairman says despite the ups and downs in the party's history, it is determined to stick to its core principles amidst the country's changing political landscape.
So the 52 years of the party have been good and bad, in the sense that, or I would say good and tough, in the sense that you have had good opposition from 70 to 80, and good government 80 to 85 to 95, and now we are in the phase where we are building up. But I can tell you it's an uphill battle, but I pray and hope that the Dominican people will see the wisdom in what accountable and good government is about, and make themselves not just for election purposes, but people who work to uplift themselves, uplift the country, and give government, give parties, when they perform in their interests, opportunities to govern.
The Ministry of Health has enlisted the support of popular lead vocalist of the Triple K band, Wayne Benjamin, to encourage the public to observe guidelines and protocols for anyone staging events and gatherings this independence season. Benjamin told the Ministry of Health press briefing on Wednesday that from the onset, Triple K has led the charge to disseminate through the media the importance of following the protocols and guidelines advised by the Ministry of Health.
We have come though to a critical juncture where there is need to celebrate our nation's 42nd anniversary of independence while we battle a rise in COVID positive cases. In light of that, government, through the Borders Reopening Committee, has presented an extensive list of guidelines and protocols to govern the occurrence of gatherings and events. Of most importance is the need to continue observing proper social etiquette by social distancing, washing and sanitizing of hands, wearing of face masks or shields, and availing ourselves to the requisite screening and practices. These measures are designed to keep our entire country safe, and we encourage everyone to do the following accordingly. We have made adjustments to our schedule of events over the upcoming weekend.
Triple K International went on Facebook Live Wednesday night to advise fans and the wider public of the changes in their planned events. The band had previously planned 3 major events for the Independence Weekend: the Old School on Friday, Duvanjou on the 3rd of November, and an all-white party on November 4. These events are all part of the Lock the Gate series. They will now host only one event.
We have met with the government officials, and we have also met as a team to decide the best way forward considering all what is going on right now. Obviously, you know, Triple K Band is a band that holds in high esteem the health and safety of its members and of the fans and of the country. And the band will never put anyone at risk, you know. So we have engaged discussions with, as I said, with members of the government team. And basically they have set out a laundry list of guidelines to govern events. And we have to go through an application process. And a lot of these items, a lot of these guidelines, have caused us to reconsider the entire makeup or the entire layout of our Lock the Gate series. As you would well imagine, our plans are in full gear, or well, was in full gear for the 3 events. You know, the Friday night on the 30th, we're supposed to be doing, this Friday, two days from now, we're supposed to be having the first event, Old School for the Old School, and on the 3rd, the Duvanjou, and on the 4th, the all-white party. But we had to make some adjustments because of these protocols. We have to make some adjustments because we care about you. We have to make some adjustments because we have to ensure that the entire country is safe and we don't endanger the lives of anyone. One of the key things that caused us to rethink and to re-strategize for this weekend is the venue size and spacing. One of the areas that was mentioned was that we had to ensure that people have adequate room to social distance properly, and we realized that some of the venues that we had didn't meet the requirements. So obviously we had to make sure that we did what we had to do to ensure that everyone stays safe. So in light of all of that, we decided that the event series cannot go on as it was supposed to have gone on. And what we're doing is to turn it into a different direction and allow everybody to still be able to party with their TK International. You can still party with your TK International this weekend, but just that we wouldn't be able to party all 3 nights.
The Duvaju event is the only one which will now be held.
Essentially, we're going to be able to host only one event. That event will be taking place on November the 3rd at 4 a.m. So the Duvaju event is the only event that will be taking place in the Lock the Gate series for this weekend. I know many persons may be wondering, well, what happens to me now? I bought tickets for old school, I bought tickets for the all-white party and stuff like that. We have made arrangements where all the persons who so far have purchased tickets for any of the other events, in addition to the Duvaju tickets, that they will be granted access to the Duvaju event. So it doesn't mean that you bought tickets for Friday and you cannot party with your Triple K. What it means is that you're just going to have to end up partying in Duvaju on November the 3rd.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid. But there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
An innovative program to help boost the skill set of Dominicans was officially launched on Thursday, and Joel Wee explains.
The Skills to Access the Green Economy SAGE program being implemented at the Dominica State College and the Center where Adolescents Learn to Love and Serve calls is funded by the Government of Canada. Claude Brulé, President and CEO of Algonquin College, which is spearheading this project, says SAGE will support Dominica's development agenda of becoming the first climate-resilient country in the world.
The objective of the SAGE program is to produce qualified and competent male and female graduates, including adolescent girls and women, youth and vulnerable population in this process, in climate-smart construction carpentry, who will meet the labor market demands of industry and or develop and manage their own businesses in the construction sector. Algonquin College has a history of project activity in the Caribbean and is currently implementing Colleges and Institutes Canada project in Dominica and St. Lucia with our partner Dalhousie University. We are committed to greater student mobility from the region, as well as faculty and staff engagement on research and development projects with Caribbean partners.
The SAGE program will bring a new competency-based educational training, associate's degree and certificate in climate-smart construction and carpentry skills. President of the Dominica State College, Dr. Donald Peters, says the SAGE program is vital at this time as it will help develop the skill set of the country's human resource.
So after 41 years of independence, we find ourselves with a society with very little skilled artisans to help build the country. 80% of our students are geared towards pure academic liberal arts. And we all know in the 21st century, nations cannot be built on this. The SAGE program has identified with the partners Dalhousie and Oliver Quinn the critical areas for us. And I'm pleased that they are zooming on what is important, which is the gender barriers that exist in our society and for youth at risk.
The SAGE program is set to run from 2020 to 2023 and will help youth develop skills to effectively battle the impact of climate change in the country. Sister Mary Therese Raphael, Acting Director of CALLS, says this project is timely.
We are now transforming CALLS into a vocational institution to equip the youth with industry-relevant competencies. But that transformation raises new challenges. The resource implications are humongous. The SAGE project is therefore so timely that it can only be seen as a gift from God to CALLS.
Belize, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, and St. Lucia are the Caribbean countries which will benefit from the SAGE program. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And the Chief Medical Officer has issued a statement cautioning citizens to observe the COVID-19 protocols during public events this Independence weekend. Dr. Johnson says the protocols must be observed at these mass gatherings. He outlined some of the measures which event organizers and patrons must follow.
The event organizers must ensure the following is maintained during the events. The events organizers must ensure physical distancing of 6 foot, spacing among the event attendees, including in high traffic areas, and particularly during the exit and entry and in vending lines. The event organizers must ensure that there is designated staff to monitor the physical distancing at key spaces, example in lines, to avoid all form of bottlenecks. They have to ensure at least 6 foot spacing, as we said, and they could do so by using signs, tape, or other means in queues and other spaces where distances will be hard to maintain. Except you're coming as a family, living in the same household, patrons should maintain a distance of 6 feet from each other and wear face masks.
Dr. Johnson also issued this warning to alcohol users.
We know that persons tend to disregard all health protocols when they're intoxicated. When they take 1 or 2 shots, people forget about face masks, about social distancing. Please do not abuse alcohol during these events. Dominica's success to date to this invisible enemy called the COVID-19 pandemic is largely as a result of what we consider an all-of-society approach that is used in Dominica. The COVID-19 virus, and I want to emphasize this, the COVID-19 virus found in Dominica is the same virus that has killed to date over 1,170,000 persons all over the world. But to date, thank God that we have not had one single death in our nature isle. And I should hasten to say that our success in Dominica is due in part to a number of things. One, the good public health legislation and recently new regulation for COVID that was put in place by the state. We have a robust health protocols derived from the best available scientific evidence and international best practices.
Valedictorian of the 2020 graduating class of the Dominica State College has congratulated her fellow graduates on surviving a string of challenges that life has thrown their way. Melissa Williams addressed the commencement ceremony virtually and applauded students for making it to this leg of their educational journey.
From the very beginning at our time at DSC, we were faced with many hurdles. Most of us entered a DSC that had been battered and bruised by Hurricane Maria. Along the way, while trying to cope with classes, quizzes, tests, labs, papers, exams, presentations, and deadlines, we were presented with some unusual challenges. There were fires, invasions of toxic fumes that temporarily stopped classes, and even literal fiery roadblocks. Most of us also battled with personal problems at times. Then, we are faced with the greatest obstacle of them all, the COVID-19 pandemic.
Despite the obstacles, the 2020 graduating class emerged successful and is ready to continue on its lifelong developmental path.
It really seemed as though the world had been doing everything in its power to prevent us from succeeding. But you know what? It's ironic, because in all its efforts, we are here today. This proves how resilient, strong, and determined we are. We have been through so much together. However, we never lost sight of the reasons why we decided to come to DSC. That was to gain invaluable knowledge and to grow and flourish as individuals.
321 students graduated from the Dominica State College on Wednesday.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Triple K International to stage only one of 3 previously planned independence events due to COVID-19. More stringent measures on public events during independence to limit the spread of the pandemic, and Freedom Party reflects on its 50-year existence on Dominica's political landscape. You may access the news on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.